Now that we have talked about the differences between what you could buy 20 years ago versus brand new today, now we can talk about what is the best option for all the various reasons. Okay, so let's talk about reasons or different, like why you would buy new versus used if the living experience hasn't changed much at all as far as using and living in the RV is not substantially different. So why do you buy new? Well, there's some obvious. I mean, that's super obvious, really. But one thing I want to advise everyone on is to, when you're shopping for your motorhome, to get the used car mindset out of your head. And I think people tend to look at the RV the way you look at a car. And so the first thing you ask is, how many miles are on it, right? How old is it? How many miles are on it? And if you're looking at a motorhome, a Class A motorhome with these commercial chassis under them, the age and the mileage of the chassis are nearly irrelevant to the discussion, in my opinion, because you're talking about chassis that are designed to last for 200,000 to 300,000 miles without any reliability issues. Extremely well built things, and so the mileage. I mean, motorhomes are not high mileage vehicles typically. You go in the used market. Finn is the highest mileage I can find on a motorhome, to be honest. When I look around at the used ones, most of them have like 30,000 miles on them. So, and even 100,000 miles on this commercial chassis is like not even half of. It's like a third of its like rated life. So, yeah. So I mean, it's like not even close to the end of its life. And so even if someone buys this RV and uses it like typical RVs around here for another 20 years, goes 30,000 miles, is still low mileage compared to what the chassis is designed to do. So yeah, so that is my advice: is get out of the used car mindset and then get into the RV like trailer mindset. Like if you're buying a travel trailer, you don't think about the mileage on the chassis. It should be the same when you're looking at Class A. In the gas-powered Class A's. So when you're looking at them, you are looking at the perhaps the warranty, the peace of mind for sure, like how reliable is it going to be, how safe and secure is it. You know, these are the things you're looking at. So how well is it going to function? Is it going to be a hassle to own? These are the things you want to ask about. And then, of course, um, you're looking at how it affects your pocketbook. And so that is why we're talking about new versus used. We want to find that happy balance between how much it costs you and how convenient and reliable and safe and practical and user friendly is it going to be to own. And I think I've kind of got a real good sense of where we're going to land here, and I'm going to go through it with you so we can make the smartest choices with our money. And you know, I'm always about when I'm transitioning my channel in the future into being more about managing money, being smart with money, um, how to live on a better budget, retire earlier. So yeah, I'm always thinking about how to manage my money better. So let's dive into this.
A new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about now, when we talk about what is the best age of motorhome to buy, new versus used versus how used, if you ask my opinion uh, about this, um, I can actually, kind of depends on where my pocketbook is at. I could definitely look toward the newer ones, and for even those small reasons we talked about, be inclined to look toward a newer model. But one thing that is for sure for me is that I would immediately want to make changes and modifications to any RV I buy, brand new or not. And so right now we're going to talk about that key innovation that is absolutely, totally lacking in the new motorhomes for some reason, and that is the electrical configuration of the RV. The RVs have not changed their electrical configuration any different from how Finn is wired. Pretty much, I mean, they're pretty much the same thing. So you have small inverters, and you have lead acid batteries, and so you have a very small portion of the RV that is wired through the inverter and can run off the inverter. And typically, and even in the new motorhomes, that's like just a couple outlets, like it's just a few things. And on the upper end of that, the biggest inverter you will see is a 2,000 watt inverter, which is what Finn came with brand new. A 2,000 watt inverter, as it was wired in Finn, for instance, does actually run all the like interior plugs and everything in the convection microwave, which is a big power sucker. It can run the convection microwave, and so it's all your outlets and your convection microwave and your TVs and everything. So your 2,000 watt inverter should be wired to all your major things in the RV. So for sure, if I'm buying a new RV, I'm paying attention to how it's wired and what inverter's in it, but I'm going to want to change it regardless. So yeah, let's talk real quick about inverters, because that inverters and power really does affect how comfortable you are in the RV and how convenient it is to use. And I can't believe that nobody's made improvements on that, because a 2,000 watt inverter will um, be a nuisance with lead acid batteries. I mean, that combination will never be that comfortable and easy to live with. There's no circumstance where that won't be a problem, and I'll explain why. If you want to live in your RV like it's at home and just use all the things you're used to using at home and do what you're used to doing at home, which is like the most comfortable way to live, well, you can't do it, right? So what if I wake up in the morning and turn on my coffee maker and then want to microwave something? I mean, that alone, after a full night of drawing power from lead acid batteries combined with a 2,000 watt inverter, that alone is going to stress a 2,000 watt inverter, because you got like 1,300 watts in your microwave and you got like 900 watts in your coffee maker. And so you're already causing a problem and you just woke up. I mean, it's like, I can think of like a million examples on how you can overload your 2,000 watt inverter with like just normal life. So in my opinion, I just can't even imagine, like, you're going to go out and you're going to buy a $250,000 or $300,000 beautiful brand new Class A motorhome, and you're going to hit the road and you're going to immediately be inconvenienced like you're camping, right? I mean, you don't go out and buy a $300,000 Class A motorhome because you want to camp. You buy it because you don't want to go camping and be inconvenienced by all the things that camping involves, right? So you want to live like it's your home. You want to take a shower and cook food and use appliances, and you don't want to worry about it. That's why you spend that kind of money to buy a nice motorhome, right? Yeah, so it's stupid to me that they haven't advanced that at all. Um, so, uh, so let's get into and I'll try to do this fast. I know I talk a lot, but this is all relevant information, right? So um, the huge innovation that that should allow motorhomes to improve is lithium iron phosphate batteries. They are they're widely available, they're incredibly safe and reliable. The technology has advanced a lot over the years, and so you can combine, and of course solar power. You can put lots of solar very cheap on an RV, and you can put lots of onboard power storage, very light and very relatively cheap nowadays compared to what it used to be. And so none of the Class A motorhome makers that I found are even offering that as an option, and I know why. I understand that you can't even offer lithium power as an option, because to go to lithium power, you have to literally transition it as a standard feature. You can't just offer it as an option because it is going to involve a rewiring and a reformatting of your RV. And I know that's why it hasn't happened yet, because nobody's wanted to make drastic changes to what works and what sells and what's cheap, right? Because that costs more money to make it that way. But what a difference in how your livability is. So I am quite certain. I would stake my reputation that Class A motorhome makers are somebody is going to switch to lithium, which involves rewiring, redesigning, reformatting the RV. Hopefully, with that, they switch to lithium and a larger inverter. I would assume at least a 3,000 watt. Um, if a motorhome maker is going to switch, they're going to switch to something good. They don't want to do. I mean, at least the stuff's going to be reliable, right? And if you're going to do it, you're going to make it work and make it nice, right? So they're going to go to lithium power, probably something like 400 usable amp hours of lithium. I mean, I have more than that in Finn, but I mean, it's not what I would do, but I'm just predicting what they're going to do. They're going to offer maybe only 200 usable amp hours, because it's still that's as much as you can get in any lead, even with the larger bank of lead acids. 200 usable is all you get. So they might do as little as 200, but then you could run a larger inverter. Lithiums can power an inverter way better than lead acid batteries can, because they can just put out more power faster. So now, as soon as the first motorhome maker transitions to lithium, all the others will follow, and all of a sudden lithium will be like standard, because the first person's going to come out and say, oh, we got lithium this and we do that and it's going to be amazing, and then everyone else is going to, well, crap, we're missing the boat here, and everyone else is going to do it too. So it's that is on the forefront, but until then, I don't know why anybody doesn't have lithium at this point. It makes such a difference to how comfortable you're living in the RV, and it's not terribly hard to do, really. um, in Finn here, it was incredibly easy transition to make. But not every RV is going to be that easy to transition to lithium. But you do have, it may involve quite a bit of rewiring. So, I mean, it's not just a simple, you know, you, there are plug and play lithiums, right? Just put them in where the lead acid batteries used to be, but you're going to have, that's not the best way to do it. If you're going to put lithium, you need to relocate them in the RV to a more climate controlled location. Doesn't have to be ventilated. You're going to change out your inverter and your charger to one that is more specially designed for charging a lithium battery. You know, yeah, the lithium has got to be a thing. And I think that even if I bought a brand new RV, I'm figuring out how to rewire it all to make it a lithium powered thing. One thing I do love, incidentally, about the new chassis, the new Ford chassis, is that they have gone to the 210 amp alternator. And so, when you're in a Class A motorhome, and you have lithium power, you can absorb and store a lot more power just off your engine battery and save use of a generator. And so I really do like, there's so many benefits of lithium, and I do like the size of the alternator now. That is a tremendous amount of power. If you combine that with lithium battery bank and huge inverter, geez, your comfort level has just increased extremely high, and your power generation, you can take advantage of that big alternator and store and use that power. It's great. So that is a big innovation that is sorely missing, and that I haven't I haven't gone with lead acid batteries in like 6 years in any RV. I mean, I've switched them all to lithium right away. Okay, so let's get to the answer of what is the best age of Class A motorhome to purchase. And I'm going to say that right now, brand new to me looks like a terrible option, because I think you'd be buying right before some major innovation is coming to the industry, with the power situations, and you'd be, you're buying a bunch of brand new stuff that you just going to want to rip out and redo. I mean, that buying brand new doesn't seem like a very smart option right now, in that respect. And then you might be thinking that having a warranty is like something you want, but honestly, looking at the RV industry and warranties, geez, now that gets into reliability. So let's play it out, right? So brand new RVs are notorious for having problems that show up pretty quickly after you buy them. Some of them are right out of the factory, and some of them are just things that that weren't built very well from the start. As soon as you start using them, they break, right? So brand new RV is like, I've never met anyone who didn't have to take them in for warranty work after they buy them. So you're going to have to go through this if you buy a new RV. It is literally worse than buying a used one that's a couple years old, because you're going to be the one who has to go through this initial break-in period, um, and and dealing with the warranty on it. And then the warranty time when you take it into the shop um, is long. So you're gonna spend a lot of money on an RV, and then it's gonna spend months in the shop because by the you take it in, they investigate what's wrong, they submit it to the company to get approval for the warranty, then they order the parts. The parts take forever to get here, then they put them in. I mean, it's gonna be that's just like part of RV life. You're gonna buy an RV. Um, Brand new, things are going to break, and you're going to take forever to get the warranty work done. Um, I mean, I hate to burst the brand new RV bubble, but that is pretty much reality of what everyone's going through. Okay, so reasons to not buy new. You have to hassle through warranty problems and reliability problems, and you're probably going to want to rip out a bunch of the electrical and redo it and make it modern. Yeah, that sucks. As far as I'm concerned, new is out, but now how used is what we're talking about. And of course, the huge benefit of buying used is that that initial depreciation of the new one is significant. You're going to lose 25 and 30% of your money instantly when you buy the new one. And so another reason to go to the used one. So after a couple years, you're seeing a pretty significant drop in value. Now, you might think, now we're going to talk about mileage, right? So you go and you're looking at RVs that are a couple years old, and and this is where I say get out of the used car mindset, right? You're saying the lowest mileage one is the best one. And I say, no, the highest mileage one is the best one. Because you want one that has been out there in the world getting broken in and having all these things that weren't built well fail. I Once you get through this kind of initial round of failures, I feel like you're going to have a pretty reliable RV for a while. And so you want to find the highest. If you're buying one that's 3 years old, look for the one with the highest mileage that's been used the most and has had everything fixed, right? So, and ideally one that is on the road, everything fully functioning, so you can verify that everything works, right? If it's been sitting around on a lot and it doesn't have any power hooked up to it, right? The battery is going to be dead. There's no power. That's so stupid, the power systems, right? Yeah, you find one that's sitting around that hasn't been used very much, has super low miles, those problems are potentially unknown. So finding one that's out there in the world being used that has higher mileage is likely going to be more reliable for you. That concept doesn't change much as you get older. As you get into the older RVs, the ones that are actively being used are going to have the kind of known issues. Like the owner should know what they are. If they're actively using it, they know what things don't work very good or don't work at all, and anything, and problems will show themselves if you're using it. The other thing about using it is that things actually don't break. Things actually work better if they get used. Things sitting around tend to fail. Every time an RV sits around and you come back to it after like a year it's been sitting there, things have froze up or just don't work anymore. Yeah, and seals get dried out, whatever. I don't know. It's like you got more leaks, you got more problems. Mice and rats and stuff get in and climb around and eat things. I mean, it's just like the ones sitting around tend to have problems. So yeah, that's true no matter what age of used RV you look at. The ones that sit around more are not necessarily better. All right, so we're moving along through this logic of what is the best year to buy, the best model year, how used of an RV to buy, and we've pretty well just worked out that brand new is not super convenient. It's not good for your pocketbook. So we're getting into used. And I really do like something that is a couple years old. Um, that is, I think, your sweet spot. If you To answer the question, about 3 years old is pretty dang good. That's going to give you the most peace of mind. RV warranties, I do not have any belief in them. Even the aftermarket warranties, I would avoid those. They have so much freaking fine print that even if you have a warranty, um, so many things are going to be excluded, not covered. I mean, you'll spend so much money on it, you're never going to be ahead on that. I don't think. Maybe you are. I don't know. It depends how handy you are. Because if you can fix some things on an RV, if you're a little handy, forget the warranty and just deal with it yourself because it's so much hassle and it's going to end up you're going to end up paying for it anyway. So uh, yeah, so that about 3 to 5 year range is real good. But as you get older, um, or if you buy one, you got to remember that as you approach about the 10-year mark, I think it's about where you're going to start see some failures from age actually start happening. And so you're going to have to deal with that, and that continues all the way to about the 20-year-old mark. Um, by the 20-year-old mark, you have a lot of things in the RV that are due for updating. And so that is really an interesting conundrum that you go through. And so, and it really will depend on how handy you are and how willing you are to do the upgrades on one. Because by the time you get to a 20-year-old RV, there are going to be a host of things that are going to be due for updating. And I'm going to run through those really fast. I'm going to try to run through them really fast so you can think about them.